All right, guys, it's day 25. Oh man, sorry, it's hard to breathe. I did finish the top of that with 2 sections of pine with like some different types of trim. And as you can see, I sanded it down, like all the edges are nice and round. But there's an edge on here, you know, just to have it, just so I can put like a handle on there to lift it up. And there's also boards down below that allow that to open up like that. So it's got 2 sections, need to be hinged, but it came out awesome. As you can see, those rails that I had on there, they weren't permanent rails. They were just sticking up because I just put the beams like that to support it. So like I said in the beginning, on my last video, it was not done. It was just like a rough frame. So this is, you can see like on the edges, I like sanded them really good and have them nice and smooth. Sanded all the top, sanded everything. So yeah, it came out really nice with the pine top, and I sanded all that down, evenly spaced everything. I went to the store, I got a whole bunch of wood. I finally started to do this walls on this shower. It's a disaster. I was gonna clean up and then make the video, but you know what? It is what it is. So yeah, I finally started to put these walls up. Now these are only 1/4 inch because the concrete board's gonna go over this. Now someone in my past video made a comment about hanging concrete board. You don't need a backer. That is not true. Concrete board doesn't mean it's hard like concrete, like a sidewalk, or cement board doesn't mean it's hard like a sidewalk. If you do not put backer board on there, the first person that slips in the shower and puts their hand on the wall is going to go through the wall. That cement board has to be backed by something. Anybody that's telling you it doesn't know what they're doing. So you can use 1/4 inch, whatever you use, as long as that cement board is on there with the proper screws that are made to hold that cement board up. But what I'm using is 1/4 inch Wonder board. So 1/4 inch Wonder board, 1/4 inch plywood, sanded plywood, and that'll make a 1/2 inch because that's what I have my measurements for. And the reason you need the backer is because when you put your hand on that cement board or the Wonder board or whatever type of board you're going to use that's sorry, that's like the cement board, you need that the back part distributes that pressure evenly. The cement board, you can, if you don't have this backboard, when you put that weight on that cement board, it's your fingers are just going to poke a hole through it. It's not solid enough to have as a wall. If you put cement board over this, when I push on the cement board, the weight distributes on the plywood, so you can't puncture it. So be careful. Do not hang cement board or Wonder board inside a bus build without backing it with something. It will not last. The bumps and everything will tear it right off the wall. You have to lay something like this. Then you have to lay mortar. Then you have to put up the Wonder board and drill it all in. Then you have to tape the seams and then mortar everything and then put the tile or whatever type of finish you're going to put on. But you can't just hang the Wonder board on there. I just said that again, not to bother you about it, but don't just hang the Wonder board on the walls. It's not going to last. It will fall off. You will have leaks in your shower. It's not good. So I finally, as you can see, custom fitted the shower pan in. I just finished doing that. You can see all the white. Now, it definitely did require custom fabrication for what I wanted to do. The front lip is made to, you know, go to lay flush with there, but it's not made to lay, it's longer. So, you know, I wanted to sink this down. So I had to take about 1 inch of the lip off. So I didn't take a lot off at one time. I kind of just ground off like 1/4 inch pieces here and there. And it cuts really easy. Just make sure you wear a mask because it's like breathing in like horrible burnt plastic. So yeah, you can see I had to notch a piece out. Once I got it to lay where I wanted to, and I made sure that it was level, so the water would go down the drain, then I could notch that piece out, which allows it to sit inside there. see, I had to cut all that off. There was like an extra inch on there. And then I'll lift this up. As you can see, I cut the subfloor out. It's a little bit rough, but I cut it out and it landed like I said it was gonna land with all the furring strips. It landed right on the furring strips, which is perfect. So it fits right inside there, nice and flush. I gotta pull it back out now. I gotta clean up the little edge of the wood. I'm gonna re-tape and reseal everything. Throw another coat of paint down there and repaint the hole so there's no exposed metal from where I cut the hole out. But other than that, I mean, it's awesome. It fit exactly perfect. I took my time with it to make sure I didn't cut too much off of one thing. But now I'm really, really happy I did that, because now I can stand up perfectly straight in the shower with plenty of room. Before, I couldn't do that. Obviously, it wasn't sunken at all before. It was just sitting on the plywood. But now I can stand in here. The ribs that are underneath this, that are part of the mold, are sitting flush on the metal floor, and I'm able to stand straight up. So yeah, it's close. I have an inch of space, but I can stand straight up. So really happy about that. Very happy I did that. Had to loosen the brackets on the floor so you can see it's like off a little bit. That's because if you look, I loosened this bracket on the floor so I could slide that in and out without like bending screws and nails. So I'm gonna pull this back out. Once I get it all in, I'll just put the brackets, screw the brackets back in down to the floor. But yesterday I wasn't here. I was, as you can tell, I didn't post videos because I was just got distracted with other stuff. I wasn't doing this build. I canceled this thing because it was just way too early. The guy wanted to meet me here at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I would have had to wake up at like 4:30 to do that. So I canceled that. What is all this water from? Oh man, I spilled this. Nice. Humidifier, the moisture eliminators. I kind of just like keep them laying up there just to keep moisture levels down. But I got what I decided to do, the company, not really, I shouldn't even call them a company. It was a place that sells the containers. They ended up sending me these two 46-gallon containers. I contacted the guy, and I told him he sent me the wrong containers, and he said that that if I wanted the 100-gallon containers, that I would have to pay $189 freight shipping. And I basically told him, like, I ordered the 100-gallon containers with the shipping and I paid for what you offered. And he basically told me, no, if he sent me these two, that I can send these back and cancel the order, or I can get the 100-gallon tanks and pay the freight charge on them, which was an extra $280 for two of them. Or I can keep these and I can get a refund for the difference in the money. So, after getting these, I kind of was happier that it happened that way, although that's definitely bad business practice just to send somebody a container that you decide, two containers that you decide is the right ones based on what you feel like sending somebody. I mean, luckily I'm in a situation where I could use whatever, but yeah, definitely not cool just to cancel somebody's order like that and refund them part of the money and send them whatever you feel like sending them. So I ended up with two of these, and instead of a refund for the difference, he's sending me a third one to go underneath the bus. So there's going to be three 46-gallon tanks, and I might just end up grabbing another 46-gallon tank. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but it's a nice tank. I mean, it's good. It's a good tank. It's perfect. I was going to put one here and then one on this side and build something over them. I mean, that's what I'm doing now. So you can see, like, I have my SureFlow pump laying over here with all the fittings on them, the proper hose that they tell you to use, the 1/2-inch hose with braided, with a high pressure braided. I mean, the tank's really nice. I put a black mat underneath there, and inside the middle of the black mat, there's a heat mat, just in case I guess something happens with the heat and I don't want my water to freeze. there's a heat mat with a plug, so I can always plug it in and it will heat this thing. So what I did was basically lay a black mat underneath here so it doesn't like slide across the floor. And these things are connected to a plywood that goes down. So there's plywood laying underneath this thing. Then there's a black mat on top of it. Then I cut a little bit out of the black mat. I laid the heat mat in there with the plug going out the back. Then I put these two boards on both sides and then I framed it up and then framed it across. And that's just one. I'm gonna do another one. And then I'm gonna put the strap across the wood. So I gotta cut these tops off, make it nice and square, make another one of these and then put it like over here. So there's gonna be one there and I'm gonna move this one back. And then I'm gonna put the metal straps through the wood just to reinforce it. I got more of that stuff to go to the kitchen sink. I got these two clamps to go to this to fill it up. Then I got this laying over here. So this is the city water thing for the city water and the gravity fed water. And then I got this RV 12 volt distribution panel. So instead of getting some cheap one off like some Chinese cheap one, I actually just bought an RV one. So they hold a 12 gauge to whatever gauge wire I feel like using. And these can hold big wires for my positive batteries, and then you can run your 12 gauge wires to all your different devices, and then you plug your fuses in right there. So this is way nicer than the stupid Chinese junk ones that you can get for like $10 on eBay. This is an actual RV overstocked that I got a really good deal on. I was actually going to buy another one or two of these because I'm probably never find them at that price again, and they're much higher quality than that cheap Chinese junk. So yeah, I got that. I got this thing. I got this water tank over here. The other water tank isn't in here because I don't have room for it, as you can see. Yeah, I got my pump. I'm just starting to put this wood up. I did this floor. I love how that came out. I'm really happy with the way that came out. I was a little bit worried that it wasn't going to sink in properly, or I wasn't going to be able to cut the floor out nicely. The floor I cut out perfectly with the circular saw with the ripping blade. I mean, it just went down, chopped it. You can see the little edges. I couldn't get a nice edge and then a corner because these walls were in the way, or this wall was in the way. So I can get close enough to it, and I got close enough to it, and then I kind of like used the grinder to kind of like eat away at the corner and then pulled it all out. So that's why those corners were a little iffy down there. But all in all, I mean, the hole's good. Everything's good. I just got to go through, do the little fine tuning. It's sitting flush on the ground. There's no like bounce in it. It's rock solid. There's no like, yeah, it's good. You can't feel like any flex in it. So you can definitely tell like the support ribs are laying on the floor. And that's what took me the longest, to keep on grinding a little bit off of that, the front lead edge, and then lifting it up and checking. But yeah. So, sorry, I thought my camera was just like stopped recording because I was over the time limit, but it didn't. Yeah, so I'm gonna keep on working. I'm gonna clean up a little bit. I really like how the couch came out. It's so comfortable. I mean, oh yeah, it has that tilt to it. It's just like really, it's a really, really good angle. I mean, I'm really happy with the couch. It hit the arch of your legs, or the crook in your legs, they like sit on this edge perfectly. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't feel too small, it doesn't feel too big. It's really nice. Really happy with it. Yeah. Yep. So that's it, guys. Day 25. Thanks.